Hey guys, can everyone see me? Can everyone hear me? Really, really bad signal. Really, really bad signal. Okay, looks like the signal's coming in better. Okay. We've got one person here. Just checking my audio. Just let me know if you can hear me, okay? Or if you can see me. Okay, we've got someone else in. Hi everyone. Welcome to the live. This is my second attempt at doing a live. Can everyone see me and hear me clearly? Just leave a comment in the comment section if you can. Okay, guys, welcome to the live. So today's live session, as you can tell, will be about how to get a job here in the UK. I think I went off temporarily there. Apologies, guys. The signal is pretty bad. But today's live session is going to be about how to get a job here in the UK. On my previous live session, we spoke about what people need to consider when they are thinking of relocating over to the UK and some of the things that they need to consider if and when they are actually thinking of relocating to the UK following the announcement of the new UK Prime Minister. So today's session is basically going to be covering what kind of things do you need to do if you're someone who's actually a foreigner and you are applying for a job from outside of the UK and you need to get a job to help you relocate here to the UK. So, to start with, then, let's first of all talk about what exactly you need in order to actually come here to the UK to work. Okay. So, the first thing a lot of people need to know or understand is that for you to actually work in the UK, a lot of people commonly come through the route of using the skilled worker visa route. Okay, this entails usually having to get a job which is on what is called the UK's shortage occupation list. Okay, SOC for short. So this will be called SHOC for short. So, what does this mean then, really? This means that if you're getting a job, you need to make sure that that job is on the UK's shortage occupation list. And how do you go about actually finding what jobs are on the UK's shortage occupation list? Well, that's exactly part of what I'm going to be showing you. So, to start with, I'm just going to share my screen really quickly. So you want to go on this page here that you can see me sharing. Okay, so hopefully you can see what page I'm sharing with you. So this page that I'm sharing with you guys is what is basically the UK's full list of shortage occupations here in the UK. Okay, so if you're someone who's outside, you're looking for a job in the UK, this is going to be the first place you want to check. You want to make sure that the job you're actually looking to come here to do in the UK is actually on this list, because it will increase your chances of actually being able to secure a job here in the UK through the route of coming on the skilled worker visa. So as you can see, this particular list is regularly updated, so you want to make sure that you are keeping an eye, because they do tend to update this list from time to time. So it's useful for you to keep an eye on this list and just make sure that some jobs are on the list, or maybe your job is on the list, or there are new occupations that have been added to this list. So if we just go down, the shortage occupation list itself will tell you what the job's occupation code is, what the kind of job types that they include on this list are, areas in the UK where there is a shortage, and also what the annual salary is. Okay, so very quickly you can see that, for instance, chemical scientists, there's a shortage in Scotland, only in Scotland. So this might be useful for someone who is applying for a job as a chemical scientist, because then he or she knows that if they targeted a lot of job vacancies for this role that are being advertised in Scotland, they would have a much higher chance of actually getting that job and coming into the UK through this route. Okay, so this will be your first step. The next thing you'd want to do is you basically want to then take the next thing you want to do is you then want to ask yourself, okay, so I have this full list in front of me. What does that mean for my occupation? This is where the next site I'm going to be showing you comes in. Okay, so this next website is where you want to go on to after you have used the first website that I've just shown you guys. You want to go on to a site called uktsponsors.co.uk. Now, the great thing I like about this website, and I'm being very particular with the steps I'm showing you guys, okay, because these are the steps that you want to use meticulously if you're actually thinking of applying for a job in the UK. This is the approaches I would take if I'm applying for a job and I'm outside of the country. So you come to this next website, okay? You can see here that what this website does is it breaks it down further, in that it takes all of those lists that I was just showing you on the previous page. It takes it and then it basically splits it and breaks it down by industries, okay? Industries and occupations. So if we go down this list, for instance, and say maybe if I am just going to choose a really, really random industry for the purpose of this exercise. Maybe if I'm looking for a job and I work in finance, just as an example, I would go here onto this website and then I'd click search. This website already has a full list of all of the occupations and all of the companies that sponsor visas. Okay, so this particular website, you can see it here by sub-tier. This sub-tier means that this company, this 1783 Limited, they actually offer visa sponsorship under the skilled worker route in the industry of finance. Okay, so this is how you want to be using the site. You can see that here already, this is just the first page. I've not even scrolled down. Here already, you can see that right down the list, you can see a number of companies here that will offer me skilled worker visa sponsorship. This basically means that they have the relevant sponsorship license. And if I applied for a job with them that was a finance role or an insurance role, I would be much more able and likely to actually get visa sponsorship from them. A key point I want to highlight to you guys is that when you're looking for jobs, don't assume that every company in the UK is able to actually give you sponsorship license. Okay, this is where a lot of people open themselves up to being scammed. So you want to make sure that you take the steps that I'm showing you, because what you want to do is when you're looking for jobs out there on the recruitment websites, you want to verify and check that, does this company that I'm actually about to apply to, do they have the relevant sponsorship license to actually grant me the certificate of sponsorship and to sponsor me through the skilled worker visa route? Because if they're not on that list, chances are they can't actually give you the sponsorship license and it's most likely a scam. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're doing your research before you actually go further in any job application process. So I'm on this site right now and I'm just scrolling down. And if I were just as a glance, these are all, again, majority of these are all skilled workers, skilled worker. You can see Advanced Markets UK Limited, they actually offer sponsorship. They have the license to offer sponsorship through not just the skilled worker route, but also through the global business mobility, senior, or even specialist worker. So this is a great route to take. Okay, so come down this list, look at whatever company. Just you have to go through the list. It's a really really long list. Okay, guys, you can also download it if you like. So the first thing I'm now going to do is I'm going to basically now open up any of these companies just as an example. So I'll just do open link to see that you can see my, there we go. So the first approach you're going to take then is, okay, I'm looking for a job and I have all of these details in front of me. I have the list of companies in front of me. What do I do next? The first approach you really could take is you go through the list that I've just shown you, and then you select from those companies and you basically go onto their website and you check their relevant careers page. Okay, most of them will have a careers page. So that's what I'm trying to find here, or some kind of indication that they have a careers page. So we will just check a different industry, just as an example, care homes, for instance. And by the way, guys, this does take a bit of research. It's not something that you will do and overnight, it will be a success. You just kind of need to keep doing your research on what works, who's who, and how you can get there. So I'm just going to get the relevant page up to share with you guys in a minute. So I'm on a care home website now, and the first thing I would do is I'd basically go on there and I would try and see where possible if they have a careers page. Most of them here don't have a dedicated careers page, but most companies would actually have a dedicated careers page if they are advertising those jobs on their website. So that's the first approach I would take, is basically go onto the website, check directly, do they have a dedicated careers page? If they have a dedicated careers page on their website, then the chance is that they are using their own in-house HR recruitment team to actually recruit for any jobs that they advertise. In which case, if you obviously see a job live and direct on the actual website of that company, then go ahead and place your application straight away. So that's the first instance, and that's the first approach I would definitely take. The next approach I would use if I were looking for a job is basically, again, I'm on this website. Say if I'm a care worker, for instance, I know that Advenia Healthcare are one who do recruit care workers in the UK, and I can tell that they also offer visa sponsorship. What I would then do is to go ahead and try and see if I can get any relevant contact details. As you can see, I'm on the bottom of the page here, and I can see that they have a relevant email address, they have a telephone number. You can contact them through there. The next approach is to look for where it says on the tab. So for instance, here, They might not say it as careers, but they actually say it as work with us. So sometimes they might put it in that sense. So you can see that if I were to scroll down, so work with us is actually their careers page. You can view their vacancies, okay? So straight away, you can see that they have a variety of different roles. And I don't need to worry about whether or not they can offer me visa sponsorship because I know that they have the sponsorship license. Okay. Now, at this point, it's all a matter of going in to read the relevant roles and the description and check whether they're offering visa sponsorship for that particular job. Okay. Because sometimes they will have sponsorship license, but in some cases, for particular roles, they may just not be offering visa sponsorship at that particular time, or maybe for that particular role. So this is where the importance of doing your research actually comes in. So this is an advertisement to recruit for senior care assistants, for instance, and there's every chance that if you were to contact them through making the application here where it says apply, then there's every chance that they would actually come back to you and say, yes, we can actually offer you visa sponsorship and tell you how to go about it. Now, the second route, so that's the first route. So go directly onto the website of the relevant company that you're looking to apply for, that you've seen that they have the sponsorship, and make your application through that route. Okay. So therefore, now, the second route I will take is to basically go on the job websites directly. Now, there are a lot of different job websites. So the issue is, one, knowing what the job websites are. I do have videos on this already on my channel. So if you're not familiar with my channel, do just browse over and check for those videos, because I do have quite a lot of videos on my channel regarding job websites that you can find visa sponsorship job vacancies. However, for the purpose of this exercise, I think it's important to address exactly how you go about using these websites. Okay, so there are lots of different job websites that you can use, but one of the best websites that I would really recommend that you use when looking for a job requiring visa sponsorship is a site like LinkedIn. Okay, so LinkedIn, I'm just going to go into LinkedIn. So if you want to go on a site like LinkedIn, for instance, and just basically research visa sponsorship jobs, you will see that there are a lot of visa sponsorship job opportunities, a lot. And the good thing about LinkedIn is you don't have to worry necessarily about whether you're being scammed or whether is this recruiter real or not. A lot of recruiters, a lot of companies do use LinkedIn regularly, so LinkedIn is a great place for you to actually start. It's a professional website. It doesn't get any better than that. So one of the first things you would do is, as you can see from the top of my screen here, I've already put visa sponsorship and I've put United Kingdom. So I'm trying to basically increase my chances to say, okay, what are the visa sponsorship job opportunities in the whole of the UK? Okay, and straight away, there are lots and lots of entries. You can see that there's over 4,800 visa sponsorship jobs in the UK, okay, potentially. What you now have to do from this place that you're in is go through this list, okay? It's not going to tell you at a glance, the description in these results, okay? It will bring the list here is basically showing you, okay, all these jobs, there's potentially a few of them that will offer you visa sponsorship. So what you need to do is basically take them one by one, depending, obviously. I mean, if you work in finance, then LinkedIn will already predominantly generate it for you, which is also the good thing that I like about LinkedIn. So if you create an account, say if you work in technology or if you're a healthcare assistant, the minute you've created your account and you put in the search like I have done, it will generate a list of visa sponsorship job opportunities in the UK that are tailored to the particular, criteria that you're looking for. So whatever is in your field, my field is finance. So that's why you can see that a lot of them here are finance related things or related roles that are coming up. So instantly, there's a graduate finance scheme. I already know that that one will definitely offer visa sponsorship because most of them do. So you want to go down the list and basically read through and check what the next steps are. Check whether, so most of them, they will put a note, the employer would have put a note to say, please note that we do offer visa sponsorship for this job role. Or sometimes they would have put a note to say, please note that at this point we currently do not offer visa sponsorship for this particular job role that has been advertised. So that's why I'm saying that you have to do your research and still keep an eye. But at least this way it narrows it down a little bit to actually pinpoint that, okay, from the search that's out there, we've scanned the results, and out of, I don't know, over 100,000 jobs that are on LinkedIn, we've scanned the results, and these ones potentially are offering visa sponsorship. So this is another way I would go about it, going directly through, the recruitment websites, putting in fields like this, visa sponsorship. If you're in someone that's in tech, or if you want to narrow it down a little bit more, you can just say visa sponsorship, finance, for instance, or visa sponsorship, marketing. Just putting in those keywords that will bring about the results that you are looking for. Okay, so that would be my second approach when I'm looking for a job. If, say, I'm coming in from overseas and I'm looking for a visa sponsorship job vacancy here in the UK. So then, let us then go on to the third way of actually going about this. So before we go on to the third way, what I do want to stress to you guys is, before you're actually applying for jobs here in the UK, you want to make sure that your CV, okay, your curriculum vitae, your cover letter is in the format that is presentable and acceptable by UK recruiters. Okay, so it's in a UK format. So try and do some research around what that means. I also have some videos that are useful on my channel, so you might want to head over and look at those if you are interested, if you want some more assistance on that. Definitely make sure that the way you've presented it, the way you formatted it, is something that is acceptable by the recruiters. The reason I'm saying this is because a lot of UK recruiters, they only have a very, very small time, okay, to read through your CV. And if they're looking at your CV, if they're looking at your job application, they have to make that decision in seconds whether they're going to bring you in for an interview or whether or not they're going to say no, on to the next candidate. So it's really in your best interest to make sure that the application you're putting forward is presenting you, and more importantly, it's presenting your experiences and your skill sets in a way that matches the job description that they have set it out as. Okay, that is very, very important. I can't stress the importance of it enough. So if you're applying for a job in technology, please don't put a CV or a curriculum, or a cover letter that was for your job in, I don't know, retail, for instance. Okay, so you need to make sure that as much as possible, you are marrying your skills and experiences together with the job description that they have requested on that CV, or on the job description that they have put out there. So let me just quickly go back to that screen that I was showing you guys before, so that you get a thorough understanding of what I mean. Okay, so let's go back to that other example. So for instance, here, if we look at this example where they're looking for a research, finance, and project manager, they've said here already what the skills they're looking for is for success. Okay, they want someone who has experience of working in financial management role within a research organization. They want someone who has proven skills, who has experience in collating data, preparing reports, and they've also put the application information. Okay, They stated it very clearly here that you need to use your cover letter to highlight your previous experience that is relevant, okay? Relevant to the role. So this is part of what I keep stressing, guys. The relevancy of what you're saying on your job application is going to be probably of the most importance in helping you actually secure a job here in the UK. You don't just want to be, putting in random things for the sake of filling up the application, because it's not going to help. Okay, so I'm just going to put that out there. It has to be relevant. So do make sure you check out. I have a few videos on my channel on what I mean in detail about relevancy and putting out examples of that. I have done a video or two on that, so do make sure you check that out. But it's important that you read the job description. You can also, sometimes they do put it as an attachment where they will show you what's the actual specifications of that job is, so that you can open it in a new tab. I'm just trying to see whether I can show you guys that. So if you click apply, for instance, let's just so I've clicked apply. So just say if you are interested in that role, for instance, so you want to click on apply, you see more details on that role. Okay, so you can see here that the job description will open up in a new tab. So that will tell you all the bits about that's just gonna try and present that again. So that will usually tell you a little bit more about them, the skills that you need. They've put it here again. And if you just basically right click here into the job description, you will see exactly what in depth they need for that particular job. Okay, so sorry, I'm recovering from a bad cold at the moment, guys, so apologies for that. But I hope that has been useful in terms of just kind of proving my point on what you need to be thinking about doing and how you need to be going about actually using these sites and completing your job application. So my third step then would be to basically go directly on to the employer's website. Okay, so most employers in the UK, sometimes they usually have like a contact form section or like a contact area. It's usually kind of open-ended. So this contact form, I will show you an example of what I mean, but usually I would use this contact form or contact us section as a way to basically put myself in front of the employer. Okay, so this is another way of you actually increasing your chances. So for instance, if I'm just going to use the same example that we were on before. So let me share my screen so that you know what I'm saying and I'm just not waffling on. Okay. So how to join us. So this step or this example that I'm showing you guys is what people usually term as matchmaking, okay? Or it's basically where you put your CV there, you drop your CV or you drop your credentials in front of the relevant employer or agency in the hopes that when an open vacancy comes up that matches your skill set that you have, they will put you together, with that relevant job vacancy, and they will hopefully consider you for that role. So this is just another way of basically maximizing your opportunity to actually getting a job in the UK. So you could usually, they don't, on this particular page, there is no contact us form, but most recruiters will usually have an area where they basically have a contact us page, and they will say, give us your first name, your full name, and whatever query you have, and submit your query through there. Alternatively, if you're able to get details of the relevant HR person, sometimes that's hard, but usually there's usually an email of some sort on their web page that you can access, and you can find out the name of the HR or recruitment partner that's there and manages that, and send them an email. And in that email, don't just send them a blank email, of course. In the email, let them know what sort of job you're looking for. Let them know what your skills and experience already is or are, and what you can bring to that role. So it's just for them to have it at the back of their mind that, okay, this particular person reached out to us a while ago, and these were the experiences and skill sets that they said they had, and now an opportunity has come up that we think would be suitable. We can invite Mr. AYZ for an interview. Okay, so that's another route I will take. That leads me on to yet another route. I'm sure I've already mentioned 3 now, but I am still coming up with more. That leads me on to yet another route, which is basically for you to register with recruitment agencies. There are a ton of recruitment agencies here in the UK. Okay, but usually the thing with recruitment agencies is that recruitment agencies sometimes are very kind of industry specific. So I'm not going to show you any I'm not going to show you any actual recruitment agency in this exercise, because I think it really depends on what industry it is that you're in. There are recruitment agencies that specialize in recruiting professionals within finance. So if you're in finance, maybe a recruitment agency like Hayes, Allen Lane, Robertson Bell, there are quite a whole bunch. So it depends on what industry you are in. But as an example, if you were looking to find out what sort of recruitment agency would be specific for your industry, then all you simply need to do is do a Google search, okay, for that, which in that sense, I could really quickly just go on Google and say, okay, hey, Google, I want to know what the recruitment agencies are for, within marketing, for instance, in the UK. Okay, I'm just playing wild card here, but that will then come up with a list of different recruitment agencies or people who are recruiting within marketing. Okay, so you can see here there's EMR, marketing, digital and communication, and other recruitment marketing agencies here. I'm not going to click into that right now because my system is slowing down a whole lot the more I keep sharing my screen randomly. But that's how I would go about it. Okay, you just need to basically do a bit of research, use Google, put a couple of keywords that are specific to your industry to match it up and help you actually narrow down to what it is you're looking for, and put you just a couple of steps more closer to actually getting that job that you want. So hopefully that has been useful in showing you and narrating to you the steps and the different routes you should take. I don't think any of these routes or steps should be done in isolation. If anything, I think that if you're someone who's serious about looking for a job and getting a job here in the UK, you need to be using a combination of all of these steps I've mentioned. Okay, so going in and using the UK tier sponsors website that I mentioned at the very start, finding out what companies on that list within your own industry actually offer visa sponsorship, and then going directly onto those websites, go directly, check their careers page. They can have it down as careers page. They might have it down as work with us. usually one of those titles. Check what jobs they have there open and then go in and apply. So that was the first route I mentioned. The second route I mentioned was basically for you to go on, job websites. I know that I have a few videos on my website which already handle this, but go on job websites. A good place to start is using a site like LinkedIn. So when you use a site like LinkedIn, you want to make sure that you're registered. You want to make sure that the profile that you've set up is fully complete. You also want to make sure that when you're using LinkedIn, you want to make sure that you set up your profile in such a way where it states that you're open for job vacancies. Okay, that way, when recruitment agencies are looking and they're placing their vacancies up on LinkedIn, they can actually see at a glance what candidates are already open and searching for job opportunities. So they're more likely to contact you and get in touch with you on your LinkedIn if they see that your profile is open for opportunities. So it's really important that the way you set up your LinkedIn profile will help or hinder you in terms of actually helping you get a job here in the UK. So that was the second step or the second approach. The third approach was basically that if you're to be in an opportunity where, okay, you're on the employer's website, for instance, and they have a contact us page or they have an email address or the email address of HR, use that opportunity, okay? Leverage that opportunity, contact them, email them ideally, or yeah, definitely email them and give them your proposition. Tell them about your skills, tell them about your experience you have, and basically let them know that you would like to put yourself forward in case opportunities in XYZ come up and become available, okay? And keep in touch. So the other opportunity I mentioned, or the other avenue that I did mention just very briefly, was to make sure that whilst you're obviously using all of these tactics, make sure that you are already registered with recruitment agencies within your relevant field or within your relevant industry, so that all of these factors, all of these steps that I have mentioned will really bring in and increase your chances of applying for a job and getting a job here in the UK. So hopefully that has been really helpful to you guys. I'm conscious I've obviously shared my screen to just try and show you, in a presentational sense what I would do, just to make it easier for you guys to understand and the steps that I will take. If you have any questions, do feel free to just drop them in the comment section. I will be taking questions now. So if you do have any questions that you want to ask me or something that you're unsure about, then I think this is the perfect opportunity for you to do so before I decide to possibly close the live stream. Oh, you're welcome, Sil. Any questions regarding kind of the process or any other bits regarding getting a job in the UK? If there's anything that I said that is not clear to any of you, then definitely this is the time for you to just kind of shout out and let me know. Okay. So if there are no questions, then I think it's basically a good opportunity for me to basically hone in and clarify that it's important for you to stay on top of the updates that are coming up around UK immigration, of course, because that does affect your relocation plans and decisions for those of you who are looking to come here to the UK. So do make sure you stay on top and keep ahead of that if you're not already doing so. Okay. Um, Another thing to say is that with regards to coming here to get a job in the UK, though a lot of people typically use the skilled worker visa route, there are other routes that you can obviously take to come to the UK. I'm not going to spend the session doing that, but I do have videos on that on my channel. So if you're someone who is apprehensive or who is just not having much luck with getting a job through the skilled worker visa routes, there are other approaches you can take to come in here to, to work in the UK and to live in the UK. There is the global talent visa. There's even a route that you can use to basically sponsor yourself here in the UK. I have a video on that on my channel. So there are different avenues that you can take. So I would definitely, if I were in your position, I would also make sure that I'm educating myself on what are the other opportunities outside of just using the skilled worker visa route to come to the UK, because of course that particular route is very competitive. A lot of people apply to the UK using that particular route. So chances are that because the competition is so high, it might take a longer time for you to get a job through that route. But that's not to discourage anyone. I'm just saying that, the more things you can consider in terms of increasing your chances to get a job here in the UK and to relocate to the UK, then the better. So, okay, I just got a mess or a comment from someone. Seal Jumbo, please, do you receive? Yes, 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 I do. I actually have a CV review session, which I don't tend to market, but I do have a CV review session where you can contact me to review your CV and your cover letter application. Okay, so if that is something anyone is interested in, then you can find the details in the description box below. Okay, I believe it's there or it's on my homepage, but it's definitely in the description box. So if you'd like me to review your CV, then that's something that I do actually tend to do, and I can read it over and just see that it makes sense and it's suitable for the kind of job that you're applying for. So I think that was the only question that we had. So I hope that's been useful, guys. Do make sure you're subscribed if you're not already and turn on the notification bell, because there are lots of updates that are coming up. And I think that you're really going to want to know what those updates are, because the chances that it will affect your relocation plans are pretty high. Okay, so I'll be dropping a video on that sometime tomorrow just to inform everybody. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this live stream, and I will see you all later. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Thank you.